Yeah. How you doing? Look at us. We're here in Union Square. We're not going to be doing Union Square, but we got to walk through it to do the walk we're doing today, which is Broadway. We're walking Broadway up to 23rd Street, doing Ladies Mile, it's called. Anyways, Phil, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Before we start, guys, you guys know the drill. Check out the Patreon. It's how I fund these things. It's very important, baby. Support. Extras on there, all that stuff. And, also like and subscribe. Just do it now. Get out of the way so you can kick back and eat your sour gummy worms or whatever. All right, Phil, what do you think, man? It's a nice day today. Finally, huh?
Beautiful.
Look at us. All right, well, let's just get started then, huh?
Yeah, let's get going.
Let's do it. Come on. So we're going to start walking through Union Square here because Broadway doesn't really start at 14th, kind of starts up at 17th, but we got to walk through Union Square. But to keep the continuity going, we're walking through the actual park itself. Today we got a little bit of a farmer's market, Phil.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
You can
nice
load up
busy
on
today.
you can load up on produce. I know you're a big produce guy.
Love my produce.
So we'll walk through here. And anyways, this is Union Square. It's called that because it's the union of Broadway and 4th and 14th. They all kind of unite here. Not because of the Union Army and not because of labor unions. You'll probably get some tour guides to tell you that incorrect information, but it's not right. So yeah, we're going to walk through this farmer's market. It's kind of a cluster boink, but we'll get through it and get up to Broadway. They do this a couple times a week, I think. But all this, by the way, this is an important thing to remember. Union Square is actually run privately. This is a private organization that runs Union Square. It's not actually public.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually called the Union Square. It's like a partnership. It's like what they call a business improvement district.
Science for the environment, there's no donation. It's good information. Thanks, flowers, dude.
Holy crap, a lot of people.
I know, right?
That's what happens when it's a nice day. Anyways, it's a business improvement district. It was one of the first, actually, meaning that it's this group of businesses from around the area here that create this organization, nonprofit, and then they levy a tax on the people who have businesses around here. And then they use that money to then upkeep the park with, security and clean it up and all that stuff, which is good because it's clean and nice. But
it's kind of a downer that it's not public, though. I don't know.
Right. Well, the downer is that that group doesn't represent everyone.
Yeah.
The downer is it represents the businesses and people with money enough to be in that group. So like the regular renters and all these people aren't represented in it, and they can kind of decide what goes here. So like they can boot the people they don't want in the park. They can do all the kind of what they want. And at the end of the day, they're most interested in land value going up, right? So that's gonna create a certain type of decision making. This is insane. We got maybe people like this kind of stuff. I don't know.
I mean, I like the farmer's market, just not the thought that the people who own it can shut down the park.
No, I was talking about walking all these people. But yeah, I agree. It's like it is kind of like
bittersweet.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more like it's not necessarily it's more the execution of the idea that's a little off, if you ask me. The idea itself could be good if you include more people in the actual decision making or whatever. All right, so up there you can see we're starting to get to Broadway, which is what we kind of came to do. Come on, Phil, let's go.
All right, we're kicking it into high gear.
Yeah, it's a little bit. I get really kind of stressed out when I do all these when I'm in like big groups like this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there's usually a good crowd here, but it hasn't been like this in quite some time.
Oh, here, check that building out. You see that building?
Which one? The one to the right or left?
The Decker building. It says Decker there. You
beautiful.
It is beautiful, Phil. Very, very, very observant of you.
Now it's above a dispensary.
But that building, actually, interesting story, that was actually the site of one of Andy Warhol's factories, as was this one. So this is another one.
Oh, wow.
This one right here on the corner, with where it used to be the Petco, not anymore. Closed that down.
That's a shame.
It is a shame, Where are you going to get good toys for your cat?
Sad to see our small businesses failing.
Yeah. Anyways, these were both factories. There's 4 of them total, and 2 of them were here in Union Square. And here, let's keep walking here. But the interesting thing is the one there that we just saw, the Decker Building one, was where Andy Warhol was shot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he got shot in 1968. He was shot by a woman named Valerie Solanas. Did you know this?
No, I had no idea.
So
Is that how
Valerie
he died? Or?
No, he didn't die that way. Actually, he got shot, hit 3 times, and he didn't die.
Wow.
Pretty badass.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then he ends up dying from gallbladder surgery in like the 80s.
So boring.
But he got shot 3 times by Valerie Solanas in his factory there. This woman was insane. Like she was part of a group called the Society for it was called SCUM. The group was called SCUM, and it stood for Society for Cutting Up Men.
Jeez. Okay.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah. Sounds fun.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm sure they have great mixers.
Yeah. Right.
I'm sure they have great mixers at the axe throwing bar or something. All right, let's cross here. I want to show you guys a couple things. First of all, this building here is pretty cool. 874 Broadway. This is called the McIntyre Building. Wow. This guy Ewan McIntyre built it there back in the day. Replaced I think a pharmacy that used to be there. But more interestingly, when the neighborhood kind of fell, like in like the 70s, whatever, there was actually a place in there called the Cobra Club. It was like these artists who like ran like this little collective type thing, and they kept actual snakes in there.
Oh wow.
And snakes would just like run loose on the floors and stuff. Yeah. Not exactly what you want to be doing when you live in a building. You want to see snakes running around. Way worse than rats. I guess they eat the rats maybe. Here, let's cross. And
is the Cobra Club from Brooklyn named after?
I don't know actually. There's a Cobra Club bar in Brooklyn. Might just be called Cobra Club. But I don't know. That's a good question, Phil. And this building here, check it out. So this is Paragon Sports, which has been it's been a sporting goods store since 1908. But the building's called the Oliver Ditson. It was the Oliver Ditson Music Publishing.
Mm-hmm.
And they were famous for having. They were the ones who had like the rights to Jingle Bells.
Really?
Yeah. So they helped publish like Jingle Bells and stuff. Yeah. There's a lot of history here. This, by the way, this whole street is called Ladies' Mile, because in the second half of the 1800s, specifically after the Civil War, this was basically all like retail shops and department stores, which you'll see as we walk. So they called it Ladies' Mile because a lot of women would come and hang out here and walk here. And this was like one of the places in the city at the time where it was acceptable for women to walk alone without men.
Nice.
We've come a long way.
Progress.
Yes, progress. So these are a couple cool buildings here. There's 873. Here, let's get off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. It's a pretty building. 873. Nice, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's incredible.
So 873. This is the Hoyt Building. This is actually home, and this is an interesting story. In the 1960s, actually, it was home to like the offices of like the socialist groups of New York. So there was people didn't like them. So for example, this is kind of, someone tried to throw a grenade in there the 1960s, and it hit the window and didn't go in and came right back down and blew up. It's like a Wile E. Coyote move right there.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Only difference is when it blows up, their hair wasn't like standing up and their face wasn't covered in soot.
Yeah,
it
was a lot less cartoonish.
A lot less cartoonish when it comes back at you. And then this building here is pretty cool too. Very pretty building there.
Nice.
That was the Arnold and Constable. That was the name of the here, let's cross here. That was the name of a very famous department store.
Nice.
Like it was like the high-end one, like the Vanderbilts, Rockefellers, they would shop there.
Now it's across from the AMC movie theater.
Now it's across from pretty much shuttered one, looks like.
Poetry in motion, you know what I mean?
Whatever happened to movie theaters? No one goes to movie theaters anymore.
I do.
I do too.
I'm keeping it alive.
I do too.
Don't spread that propaganda. We need.
All right, let's keep moving. I want to show you this building over here. It's really nice. So yeah, like I was saying, this is all Ladies' Mile. This was like the place to be in the second half of the 1800s, post-Civil War. Remember, post-Civil War is when everything was booming here in New York. You had like retail, you had industry. Everything was, the United States was exploding. It was really kind of moving its way up on the world stage. So I wanted to show you this building here. We're going to cross again. How are you doing, Phil? Look at me, listen to me ramble. Huh? How rude.
I'm doing great.
Yeah? How is everything?
Great. Yeah, everything's going really well. I frequent this area.
I'm sure you do.
Often.
Well, Union Square, guys, is a very important little spot here in New York. Union Square is kind of like, it's where the L train, basically, which is one of the main trains into Brooklyn, especially into like Williamsburg, Bushwick. It takes you into Ridgewood, and
everywhere.
It goes everywhere. And it drops you right in Union Square. And then Union Square is right near East Village to the south, southeast, and then you have Greenwich Village to the southwest.
Union Square is literally the perfect name for that
That's right.
place.
So also because of that, there's always like protests and lots of people coming together there. People doing all kinds of things. There was a streamer that got in trouble for bringing everyone to Union Square. Remember that?
Oh yeah, Kai Cenat, right?
Was it Kai Cenat?
With the PS.
Yeah, that was Kai Cenat?
PS5s. Yeah.
I want to show you this building here. Look at this. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
901.
Can you tell me why so many of the buildings around here are so European?
Because what was cool back then. But this is actually a cast iron. So this used to actually go further to where it says Equinox there. And they tore that part down. But this was the Lord & Taylor. This was the Lord & Taylor store.
Really?
So Lord & Taylor moved its kind of its store here because Arnold and Constable, Tiffany was here. All these people in the second half of the 1800s moved here. Remember, they were located further south, and they made their way north, and eventually they moved from here to Fifth Avenue, further up, as did a lot of the stores. So it was like this steady move up north in New York for all the retail.
Interesting.
And so now today you have all these. That's a very pretty cast iron building. So Samuel Lord and his brother. I think it was George Taylor. They were not brother. I think it was either brother or brother-in-law, one of the two. I'll correct myself on this thing if I have to. But yeah, they started that as a dry goods store.
Really?
That's right, down in Lower Manhattan. And then they moved up here, and that's how you did it. And so we're walking here. We're almost to the end. This is all Broadway, by the way. They just recently closed this off to traffic. It's now bikes and stuff.
Yeah, I think it was a great idea, actually.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, and now you have all the stores like you saw, the Equinox and stuff. You're a big Equinox guy, right, Phil?
I mean, I used to work there, so.
Did you? Yeah. Right. It's it's like the kind of place you pay $300 a month.
I know, it's insane.
So you can, take pictures of yourself in the locker room mirror. Everyone is in line probably to take pictures of themselves or video themselves in the locker room mirror.
That is true. Everybody there is the worst.
Yeah, it's like yeah. You have to dodge people's tripods while they're working out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst, man. When you go to a freaking gym and everyone's filming themselves working out.
Yeah, what's the deal with everybody filming themselves?
Yeah, what kind of losers do that? Oh no, look at that. That's the Flatiron Building there. You see it?
Oh yeah. Nothing better than scaffolding on that.
Nothing more New York than scaffolding, Phil. New York's gonna be a beautiful city if they ever finish it, huh?
Yeah.
That old ditty. So that's the Flatiron Building. It's kind of covered, unfortunately. But the Flatiron Building's been there since 1902. Daniel Burnham, famous architect who designed it. It's a flat iron because it looks like a iron. Holy crap, look at that. Huh? Isn't that, what a concept. But it's actually being repurposed. I don't know if you knew this, Phil, but it's being repurposed as condos.
Oh, wow, okay.
Did you know that?
I mean, I would assume so.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's like a safe assumption. Everything in the city is being repurposed at some stage. It's at some stage of being repurposed for condos.
For no one to live in.
For no one to live in. For people for Russian oligarchs to stash their money. But it is actually being repurposed as condos. So you can live in the freaking Flatiron Building.
That is pretty
That's pretty cool, man. I'm pretty sure they're working on repurposing the Statue of Liberty as condos.
Of course.
You'll have a cold plunge in the torch or something. Here, we'll cross here. All right, Phil. So we'll cross here and then we'll go to the other side here, Broadway. And look at that, we made it to Madison Square Park.
Yeah, this was a quick walk.
Where Union Square was the intersection or whatever, the converging of Broadway and 4th Avenue, this is the convergence of 5th Avenue and Broadway. 5th Avenue takes you up here towards the Empire State Building, which is covered now by that massive building. Used to be really good at photo op, not anymore. They're building that thing. And then over here is Broadway, which we're gonna walk. And there's Madison Square Park, named after who, Phil?
James Madison.
Nice work, dude. What did he do?
He was one of the founding fathers.
That's true.
Signed the Constitution.
He was also the fourth
president.
That's right, the 4th president. James Madison, Madison Square Park.
Thought you got me.
I thought I did. Against all odds, you're picking up something. Look at that little Instagrammable. See that there?
Oh, nice.
There's the Flatiron Building.
The Flatiron in the background. Yeah.
Pretty cool. So let's go over here. We'll wrap this thing up. We'll wrap up this section of it at least. Any questions so far, Phil?
No, not really.
There, look up. You can see 5th Avenue there. That's all 5th Avenue down there.
Can I ask you, what's your favorite part of this area?
Of this area?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Madison Square Park a good amount. It's a nice park.
Privately owned as well, too, right?
Well, it's not that they're privately owned. It's that they're run and managed basically by private groups. But yeah, and there's a lot of celebrities that live around here actually.
Yeah.
Or at least have at some point. Like over at the north end was Chelsea Clinton.
Well, doesn't Derek Jeter live around here too?
No, it was A-Rod actually. A-Rod and J-Lo had a place here as well. Not anymore though. And then, yeah, who else? I don't remember now. But this is like all the Nomad district here to the northwest of the park, which we'll get into. Mm-hmm. But I guess let's wrap it up here, dude. Look at this little spot here. See the little building there?
Yeah.
Watch out behind you. All right. So, Phil, we did it. What do you think, man?
Honestly, man, I had a good time.
Yes.
I always love.
That was a quick one.
It was a very quick one.
Ladies Mile. That's what it was all about.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you guys for sticking around this far. We did it.
Gotta love a ladies' mile.
Gotta love ladies' mile. That sounds creepy. That sounds really creepy. Phil says that as he's like peeking out of a bush, right? Like we're watching everyone walk through.
Hey, it's just the truth, baby.
But no, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Check out the Patreon. Huge help. All the extras and stuff. And I don't know, man. These are pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna take off. Phil, what do you think, man? Should we go have Shake Shack?
Yeah, I'd love one.
Let's go wait in that 20-minute line.
Let's get a burger.
All right. See y'all later. That's it.